Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today is the day of the summer solstice here in Australia, and I just wanted to do a reading for it. And the sun is actually setting just now as I start this reading, so how's that for timing? I don't think I'll manage to do a separate Christmas reading this year, so I decided I would just use my Christmas tarot deck for this reading, and so I'm hoping it comes through as a bit of a combined reading. I hope you'll enjoy it. Now, if you like the decks I've used today, they'll be listed in the description box. So this spread looks a little different to my normal spreads, but that's because I ended up with a lot more cards than I normally do. Would you believe that entire middle row is cards from the bottom of the deck? Now, I also ended up with a card I wasn't expecting. So this was like a sample card that was sent out by one of the deck creators when I ordered their deck. So it's from another deck of theirs, I guess. And because I'd got it and I didn't know what to do with it, I just left it in with the deck that it arrived with. And then I obviously didn't remember about it, but I was shuffling the deck and it fell out. So I guess it was meant to be in this reading. So that was a bonus card. And then I thought I had my spread all out, and then Spirit guided me to pull another card that was supposed to be specifically for the solstice. And for that, I was guided to this Queen of the Sun oracle because it is the summer solstice here, as I mentioned. Now, I know it is the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, but I felt like the winter energies were fairly well covered already with the decks that I'd used for this reading. So, yeah, we'll see what we get with this massive pile of cards. I normally like to keep it simple, but I will just follow my process. I'm sure there's a good reading that's going to come through here. Okay, so the card that I got from the Queen of the Sun Oracle that was for the solstice itself is a card that relates to the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet, and it's titled Protection. So I feel like that is obviously a very important message that needed to come through because Spirit specifically guided me to pull from this deck, despite the fact that I'd already pulled cards with this particular reading in mind. So if protection is coming through now, it is important to take some steps to protect what matters to you. Now, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, specifically ask for protection for yourself, for the people you love, for your home, for your work, for your financial security, and so on. And just visualize an energetic bubble of protection around all of these things because they are all important for our health, happiness, and well-being. You can also look into energetic protection as a topic, and you'll find that there are several different techniques you can use for energetic cleansing and protection. Now, Sekhmet is also a very fierce energy, so I feel like that might be saying it might be that some things might come up that require you to challenge them. And obviously that means letting your inner strength and fierceness come through. So Sekhmet has the head of a lioness, and that definitely has sort of strength card energy, and I guess that's Leo energy. So maybe that is relevant for someone as well. And now for the rest of the spread. So as you know, I have a policy of not leaving major arcana cards behind. So that's how we ended up with this amazing middle row. The card at the bottom of the deck was the Eight of Cups, and then we had 4 major arcana cards in a row behind it. So we have the High Priestess, the Magician, the World, and the Moon. So that's almost like a whole storyline that's coming through at the bottom of the deck. So I'm impressed. So I'm just going to talk through those energies first, and then we'll look at the actual past, present, future, or spread that we normally look at. So this bottom of the deck, we've got the Eight of Cups, which is a card about someone walking away from their old life because it just isn't fulfilling to them anymore. So this is a life that they've invested a lot of themselves into, but I think they've just come to see that they've gone as far as they can on that path. Now, that's not to say the old life was bad, but it's more just that their soul has kind of recognized that it wasn't the right life for them. So I always see this card as someone who is following their soul's guidance to move in a new direction. And I always see it as a courageous decision for a person to take because it is hard to leave behind a life that you have invested a lot of yourself into. Now, the next 2 major arcana cards are powerful archetypes. We have the High Priestess and the Magician. So the High Priestess is powerfully, spiritually connected, very psychic and very intuitive. The Magician is a master manifester who can bring their visions to life. And they're also able to do this through a strong spiritual connection that they have. So the Magician card carries the message of as above, so below. And it shows that he holds all the aces, which means he can work with all of the earthly elements to bring his spiritually inspired ideas to life in the physical realm. Now, having these two cards together here is indicating that we're talking about someone very powerful. I'm also seeing how this is a very spiritually connected feminine energy and a very spiritually connected masculine energy. So the feminine is capable of receiving a lot of spiritual information, and the masculine here is capable of using that spiritual information to change their world. So we often think about the Emperor and Empress energies when we talk about a divine union, but here we have the High Priestess and the Magician. So if these two energies have united in a single person, we are definitely talking about a powerful soul. Now the card that follows this is the World card, which is a card of completion, unity, stability, and harmony. So I feel like if there is this union between this masculine and feminine energy, that process has actually happened. It's complete. And the last card we have is the Moon card, and this is a Pisces card, and this is where we're talking about uncertainty in relation to the future. So the Moon is a card that speaks of a lack of clarity and of subconscious fears and shadows that are challenging. And when the Moon card shows up, it's time to trust your intuition. So I think that's what this person is having to do. So with these cards at the bottom of the deck, I'm feeling like this is someone who is ready to pursue their spiritual calling, but isn't really seeing a way for them to do that. So the Moon card is making me think that all they have to do is follow their instincts. This card in particular shows two wolves howling at the moon. So the traditional Moon card shows a dog and a wolf, which is about how we have a side of us that is trained to behave in certain ways, and another side of us that is wild and instinctive. Now this card doesn't have the dog. This card only features the wolves. So I'm getting from this that this person really shouldn't worry about doing what's expected of them. They should just follow their instincts and their intuition. Okay, so now over to the main tarot spread. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Eight of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles did come up in the last lunar reading I did as well, and that was for the full moon in Gemini. So if this is resonating for you so far, you might want to go check that reading out. And even the title I gave that reading seems to fit with what's coming through in this reading. So the Queen of Pentacles is a stable, calm, confident, practical, resourceful archetype. So this is earth sign energy. I personally tend to associate it with Capricorn. Now the Tower is the fifth major arcana card for this reading, and it's showing up in the present position. So that is saying that something is collapsing or ending in this person's life right now, and in a sudden and unexpected way. So the Tower is a life-changing experience. We got that message of someone leaving their old life behind, but this feels like that old life is actually completely disintegrating as well. So I tend to see the Tower card as divine intervention. So I feel like in this reading, the universe has seen this person taking steps to leave their old life and has just decided to bring it to a head, close it all off by coming in with a wrecking ball that completely demolishes that old life. So what happens then is this person can't go back to their old life, even if they wanted to. So this Tower event means that that option no longer exists. They can't go backwards. And I'm drawn to the fact that especially if you look at that top row, you can see Sekhmet's looking right. The two birds there are looking right. So it's almost like there's only one direction left to go. Like there's nothing to go back to at all. Now, in the future position, we have the Eight of Pentacles card, and this is about applying yourself to your craft or vocation and doing that, in a dedicated way. So, yeah, there's definitely a new way forward for this person, and even if they don't know what that is yet, they just are being told to follow their instincts. I think we're getting that from the Moon card, to follow their instincts and to do the work that they're guided to do. As well as they can. So whatever inspires them, they should just do it and do it well. Now we also have that Magician energy. So I feel like the ideas that they do get are going to be spiritually inspired, and they are actually meant to bring those ideas to life. Now there's an extra card on that bottom row. This is from a Christmas Lenormand deck, And we got the card, the heart, which is about love in all its forms. And with the reading that we have, this might be saying that it's really important that this person puts their heart into the work they do. So they're putting their love into the work they do. Now, this card has other associations. It's associated with the Jack of Hearts, the Sun, and the zodiac sign of Leo. So again, we're getting Leo. The Jack of Hearts, I can read that as the Knight of Cups as well. So this card might also be saying that there are going to be some expressions of love, admiration, or appreciation that are coming in for this person as well. Now, over to the top row, we've got some oracle cards, and I'll just run through those. We have an oracle card called Restful Refuge, featuring a pheasant. Now, this, from the words itself, seems to have hermit energy, which would be Virgo energy. Now, the card reads, you deserve a break. It's time to step away from the busyness of life and rejuvenate your spirit. Yeah, so I guess we've seen that this person has definitely been through some tough times. It's been a challenging road. There's been a lot of change and upheaval in their life. So we obviously had that Eight of Cups where they had to leave things behind, and then this Tower has just collapsed. So Spirit is telling them to take a break. And to be honest, maybe that's why they haven't had much clarity in relation to the future. Maybe Spirit actually just wants them to rest, recover their spark, because they're still a bit depleted from what they've been through. And I think Spirit's saying things will get going again when they've had a much needed break. So because with that High Priestess and Magician, we do get the sense of a powerful soul who's been guided to their calling. So it makes sense that they will need to be at full strength so that they can do what's being required of them. Now, the next card is that bonus card I forgot all about. It's titled Mantra Magic, with the keywords affirmations, voice alchemy, and words are magic. So this is saying that this person's words are powerful. So this is perhaps someone who speaks or writes. Now, the message on the card is choose your words with intention. You create what you speak. And there's also an affirmation on this card that reads, I choose my words with love. I create what I speak. And wow, I just realized that this card has magic in the title, and we've been talking about someone with magician energy. And when you look at all the messages coming through on this card, there are repeated messages that this person creates what they speak. What they say matters, perhaps a lot more than they realize. And I'm also reminded of the fact that I've heard before that our words are actually spells or can be spells. And I think for this person, it's especially true because they are a magician. Their words are powerful, and they're being asked to be intentional with their words and to choose their words with love. So this spiritual connection they have is meant to be about bringing messages of love into this world. They're meant to bring through messages that are loving, healing, comforting, and encouraging to others. And it's possible that they didn't know that that was their purpose before, but that's definitely what's coming through in this reading. And I didn't see the connection before, but looking back, we've got that Heart Lenormand card, which was also talking about putting love into their work, their purpose. So I feel like their work perhaps involves speaking loving words that come from their heart. The last oracle card we have is the Eagle Spirit card with the title Alignment. I think some of you, if you've watched my channel before, have figured out that alignment is one of my favorite words on the spiritual journey, because it really is the best navigation tool we have if we want to stay on the true path. So if something doesn't feel good, it's not aligning, and that's all you need to know. So the message on this card, I will read it out now. It says, view your life from a bird's eye perspective. When you look at the world from above, you'll see the big picture more easily, and what you've been questioning will become crystal clear. So this person is this message is saying that this person needs to look at the big picture. I feel like this is talking about how we can get caught up in thinking about all the things we haven't done yet or haven't accomplished yet, and that can make us feel like we're a long way from where we want to be. But we can actually get a truer sense of how much progress we've made when we step back and take a look at our whole life's journey. So even if we haven't reached a certain end point yet, when we step back and look at that whole story, we'll see that we've actually made so much progress, and that maybe we're actually not as far from achieving our goals as we thought we were. And also that appreciation of how far we've come from where we started can have a profound effect on us as well, because it can mean that we start to feel good about how much we have already accomplished rather than just focusing on the fact that we haven't reached a certain endpoint yet. So I'm feeling definitely like this message is going to have a very specific resonance for this person because of that Eight of Cups and Tower experience that they've had. So they might have felt like they invested so much into their old life and now it's all gone and there's nothing to show for it. And I feel like Spirit is just saying, step back and look at the whole picture. And when they do that, I think they're going to realize that even if things haven't gone to plan and they seem to have lost a lot, their life actually makes a lot more sense now and they are much happier now than they ever were in the past. And maybe they'll realize that the only reason they invested so heavily in that old life was because they believed it was the path that would bring them happiness. And so they might realize now that the reason that path didn't make them happy is because it just wasn't the right path for them. So I feel like even if they don't know where this new path is going, they're already feeling happier for having chosen it. And that's why this is the alignment card. You know, alignment is when something feels good and this new path feels good. And here we are. This is the end of the reading. As always, thank you all for watching the video and for all the support that you've given me through this year. Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed, and I hope that if you are a new viewer and you enjoyed this video, you'll consider subscribing to the channel as well. I hope to see you all in another video. Have a wonderful Christmas, everyone.